I was told my back would never heal. I've battled with low confidence my entire life. And I've never felt happy looking in the mirror. Fast forward to today, and my back has completely healed. I'm now confident as a person, and now my body looks, functions, and feels better than ever before. It's time to learn how to overcome physical and mental barriers, how to build a sustainable lifestyle, and build a body that looks, feels, and functions the way you've always desired. You're listening to the Redesign Your Body Show with Jake. Hey, redesigners! Welcome to another episode of the Redesign Your Body podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. So today's episode topic is, which you might have read, planning ahead to success. Now we're going to talk about why it's essential for your ongoing progression to plan ahead when it comes to your goals. There are a lot of reasons why planning is generally a really good idea, but when it comes to your weight loss and your body transformation goals, it's imperative that you plan ahead. If you want to see results, that is. So, as a kind of a overview, the areas we're going to be talking about today to plan ahead for are when you're going to train, when you're going to be doing your shopping, your meal prep, your sleep, your moderation / non-compliance, and when you go to social events, how to prepare and plan for staying away or overseas travel. Now, I can't stress the importance enough of these tasks, as they are very much a part of making progression towards your goals. Planning ahead makes it easier to know where and when you should be doing something, and takes away the stress of doing things on the fly, meaning you'll be more efficient at completing these tasks and focus on other areas of your life. Maybe you want to be focusing on work, you want to be focusing on socializing, or some quality family time, if you get my drift. But it also makes things easier when it comes to planning for social events, staying away and overseas travel, and how you can stay on track while doing those things as well. Now, if you haven't been planning ahead, don't worry, because at the end, I'll be linking you to a free resource on the website where you can download a free time-saving template, which will let you plan ahead and help you build that weekly routine, but also, again, help you plan ahead for those social events, staying away, and then in general, all that overseas travel. So let's jump into our first topic, which is planning when you are going to train. It doesn't matter when you're going to train, when you're going to exercise, as long as week in and week out, it's pretty consistent. But for a lot of people, that is difficult as they work around others, such as kids. They might have employees, they're a shift worker, so at the start of each week, you can use some of your free time to allocate time to exercise specifically to train in. Now, that might be for you to block off for that task alone. That doesn't mean exercise and do other tasks. Block it off for exercise. Now, the first step to transforming your body is to have a plan and then a training routine. And sure, look, it's harder when no day is the same. But if you find some consistency with at least nailing your designated sessions overall each week, it'll really go a long way. Otherwise, you might be left wondering when you can fit in your workouts and end up completely missing one, or, even all of them. So, moving on, we're going to talk about planning when you're going to do your shopping, your grocery trips. Everyone shops, so you're likely only going to the shops once a week. We need to plan ahead for that. If you don't, I'd advise you to condense your grocery trips to one, as you'll get everything you need to, and you won't waste time going back and forth in the evenings after work or on the weekends too. Now, I do understand that some people might not have the space due to living arrangements, etc. You just do what's best for you. But let me get you to write this down in your weekly planner, or use a template that I outline at the end of the session. And once again, make it consistent. If you can't be consistent, you're not going to be successful. Doesn't matter what goal it is. Now, let's talk about planning when you're going to do your meal preparation. A really easy one for me was I try to do my shopping and my meal prep on the same day. It makes it significantly easier rather than spending 4 to 5 hours spread out throughout the week in the kitchen when I could condense it into 2 to 3 hours and just prioritize that for that time being. But each to their own. Look, you need to know what suits your lifestyle and schedule best without stretching yourself too thin. If you're happy to do a bunch of small cook-ups, that is fine. But if you can find the time to prepare in one single slot, that's 3 to 4 times less preparing and cleaning you'll have to do in the long run, which could easily save you 1 to 2 hours depending on your situation. So block out weekly cook-up times on the back of your shopping, which is preferred as it's straight from fresh produce to pan, oven to the fridge/freezer, saving you a lot of time in the later parts of your weeks for other activities. Less time cooking? Hell yeah, but I don't mind it, so you do what's best for you, as I said. Now, this one, a lot of people are going to laugh at me, planning for when you're going to sleep. It's a super important one, redesigners. You guys gotta listen to this. A lot of us don't get enough sleep because we might spend way too much time looking at screens, ruminating on our days and events that may have happened, or simply just not having a structure in place to get the most out of sleep. Alright. It could be that you don't understand the value of sleep and the importance that it plays with your body transformation goals. Sleeping, it's essentially for our body's recovery. Having less than 6 hours sleep will severely impact your body's ability to process nutrients. Losing sleep can also build up an insulin resistance, which could make you a potential candidate for diabetes and all of the other things that come with that, and could increase the amount of sweets and high calorie foods that you force yourself maybe to eat sometimes and crave throughout the day. Now, if you think of that, if your cravings could be related to sleep, wouldn't they go away a little bit less, or you would have less present cravings, you slept a little bit more? Wouldn't that help you lose weight in the long run too? That's something to think about. Now, the average amount of sleep you want to strive for is about 7.5 hours, yes I said, don't laugh, to 9 hours. I don't have kids, and I still don't get 7.5 hours sleep. So I can't imagine those people who day to day function on less than that. I aim for about 7. Some days I get 6.5, others maybe 6. I've also found that, by being self-aware, after basketball games on Sunday nights, we'll probably get just over 5 hours sleep. So it's important to have a clear structure to your sleep habits and understanding of your patterns and the way you sleep and throughout the week, and what caused you to sleep less, etc. Your notifications and messages will be there the next day. Remember that. If you're chatting to friends, put the phone down. They aren't going anywhere. If it's work, you need to learn to set mental boundaries for yourself for when to switch off. If you're feeling burnt out from work, it could be because you're always letting work into your life at home and you're ruminating about work all the time and getting anxious from it. You're replying to emails and staying up too late. So it's time to set a clear mental boundary so it allows you to get more sleep and prioritize your health a little more. So switch off a little earlier and watch how your training and your energy levels change for the better, which will then yield you better results. We need to talk about planning when you're going to have some non-compliance in your life. It's a huge one. Instead of just planning when you want to be healthy, why don't you plan some of that moderation? A dinner with friends or family, lunch with a loved one, or that social breakfast being planned will go a long way to keeping you on track and more focused without the worry of when can I eat X food without feeling guilty about it. It's also important to know that one meal out of the thousands and thousands you eat on plan per year isn't going to derail you. But having a plan for afterwards is what will keep you on track. I plan to have at least 1 to 2 off meals each week for myself. I might go out for some dinner, have a chicken parma and a beer, or breakfast with some toast on the side, or my personal favorite is sushi. I always love to have sushi when I can. If you plan for these things, it will make really make it honestly easier for you to create that better lifestyle without feeling guilty or like you're cheating yourself. And remember, if you are trying to diet or try a new fad diet every week, you're not creating a lifestyle. You're part of a cycle that's not enabling you to get the results you want from your current lifestyle. Which means, if you want to change, it might be time to break that cycle of diets before your health gets worse. Now, this is a really huge one. It's planning ahead for when you go into social events, staying away for a couple of days, or even overseas travel. If you're one of those people who likes to socialize, or stay out overnight, or do some overseas travel, you're gonna want to plan ahead. Now, you might have to slightly alter your routine depending on where you are. You might train early before you head out to an event, you might train after an event. It depends on what happens at the event. But if you're staying away overnight, or for a couple of days or more, it's good to plan out which gym you'd like to use or what area you could go and exercise with, where you can do your outdoor cardio, and schedule these sessions into your days and make them a non-negotiable. Try to stick to what you have as close to your normal routine as possible if you want to keep on investing in your health. Now, depending on where you want or what you want out of where you're going to and where you stay, you may invest in a hotel or a house that actually has cooking facilities, so you can prepare your own food and stick to the routine even more. That's awesome. I personally take meals to events at people's houses. It's my normal now. And eat something in the car before I head in. And maybe during the later hours of that social event, I won't take food to bars and stuff, but if it's a house party or just a house gathering, that's my go-to. It all comes down to the planning you do for whatever you're actually doing. Whenever I stay overnight at a friend's house, I take a few meals with me in my esky, my little cooler box, just because I know from past experience I will need them, because I've been caught out with times where I've gone to a friend's house and I've run out. So I take a little more. That's an expert tip right there. Take more than you need. It's something unexpected happens. You won't be caught out having to act on the fly. You won't eat things you don't want to eat. Just put a little extra into preparing more food, because it's better to be extra prepared, over prepared, than under prepared, which can really save you. So don't forget to head to the description of this episode and go to redesignpodcast.com/podcast and download that free time-saving template I mentioned, and plan out your weeks with all the things that I mentioned, which are planning when you go to train, planning when you're going to do your grocery shopping, your shopping, your meal prep, planning your sleep to the hour if you can, planning when you're going to do some non-compliance or moderation throughout your weeks, and how to plan for social events and staying away and overseas travel. When that comes up, you can plan for that as well. Or you can just use your work diary or calendar, whatever suits you. So the take-home message should be, plan ahead or fail. And I think I'll wrap it up there. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on social media. You can find all that information in the description of this episode. But for now, I'll leave it all with you. Download that time-saving template and go plan out your whole week and get that routine sorted. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you in the next episode. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Redesign Your Body podcast. If you're looking for more daily support and inspiration, you can join our community Facebook support group. Just head over to our website at redesignpodcast.com/podcast. Jake, signing off.